Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. We got Martin Gramatica back in studio, Lifeguard Imaging. We're going to catch up with him here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. We always feature our real estate properties live on air right here in Tampa Bay. 2907 North Florida Avenue. We got a commercial property listing, $3 million listing here, right here close to downtown Tampa. This is 12,000 square feet, 7,200 plus heated square feet, 3/4 acre lot, almost 30 parking spaces there. Great location. Relocate your business and own real estate. Build up that equity. Own your own building. And there's a second building here too that could be rented out right now. I believe it's bringing in around $6,500 in income. 73 heated square feet. 3/4 acre lot, 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. One of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we've got a beautiful beach condo available, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Indian Shores. This is one of my favorite listings right now. This is right on the beach. So you are walking out past your heated pool onto the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Pinellas County, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. And this is an Indian Shores. You got 3 balconies. So if you look out to the right-hand side, you're looking at the intercoastal waterways, Tom Stewart Causeway Bridge there. Look out to the left, you're, of course, looking at the dolphin-filled waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Beachfront condo in Indian Shores, available for sale. One of the best parts as well, you can short-term rental this property, and it's only a $250 a month HOA fee, which is super low. A lot of these condos on the beaches are way more than that as far as the HOA fee. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, Martin Gramatica, welcome back, sir.
Good to be here, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And you're coming off a big weekend, or a couple weeks ago, I guess, Super Bowl, and you were out there. Which company was it again?
I was with Univision.
Univision.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because that was my only link to Spanish. You know, when I moved to the United States when I was 9, the only thing we watched was Univision. So not to be part of it and be covering the Super Bowl was pretty amazing.
That's super cool, man. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize we're from the same hometown, or you know, in Florida and South Florida, and just really cool, man. That's awesome. So complete circle, you know, coming around full circle there.
Yeah, no, and the great thing about it is this was the first time Univision ever had the Super Bowl. So they never hosted it before. Usually, you know, Fox has Fox Deportes or ESPN Deportes. So this was the first time Univision. So, you know, we were on all week doing coverage at all their shows. Yep. And then we did 12 straight hours of coverage the day of the Super Bowl, which I don't think has ever been done. So it's pretty cool. I had good experience. I'm hoping that we could do it again.
Did you notice an uptick in followers on your social medias, things like that? A good bump from that?
Yeah, absolutely. The social media bumped a lot because most of the Univision celebrities that were part of the group, they're like, some of them are in the millions, you know, because that's how they get their word out. So it was not, you know, doing events with them, tagging each other, so that helped grow that social media quite a bit.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. Yeah, it's a huge, especially in South Florida, the Spanish speaking demographic is huge here, man.
Well, Univision in Miami, I mean, you better speak Spanish if you're going to Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a foreigner if you speak English.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that must have been a fun experience, man, out there for the Super Bowl. What was one of your key takeaways or cool moments that you had out there?
Well, doing the game, and then some of the people that I watched when I was 9 that are still part of Univision were part of the show as well. So I'm thinking, like, I couldn't believe, you know, they were part of the broadcast with us, because they had like news anchors, they had sports people, and then regular show.
The host
figures, host, as part of the full coverage. So it was kind of incredible to hang out with him all week when I used to watch him, you know, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. So, folks, we're talking with Martin Gramatica here in studio, and he is now saving lives through his new organization, new companies, the VP of Marketing with Lifeguard Imaging, Martin. And it's pretty cool, man, to see. I mean, I've been to a couple of the different, events that you host, and kind of like gratitude parties that you guys host. And, wow, some of the stories are just amazing stories.
Yeah, and that event, we call it Empowered by the Scan, and the majority of the people, or all of the patients that come to the event, are patients that have been saved by the scan. And one of the messages that I guess I was saying is, can you imagine if Lifeguard didn't exist in Tampa and this event was being done somewhere else?
Right.
Those hundreds of people would be in another city.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell her, anytime the message I say, we have it in our own backyard.
Yeah.
We're one of 5 offices in the whole country doing the preventative scan. Why not take advantage of it?
Yeah.
Especially for your listeners, we're giving
Yeah.
the free heart scan promotion.
Yes.
And when they come in, we're going to explain, because we have other scan and we are a business,
Yeah.
the full body scan. That's where we're detecting hundreds of cancers. So
Yep.
it's just an incredible scan, and I'm so fortunate to be and blessed to be a part of the company, because originally I came in as a patient first, never thought I'd ever do it and work or be part of Lifeguard. And now that I'm part of Lifeguard, I just couldn't be happier.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I actually had a friend reach out, or kind of an acquaintance reach out through Messenger. I think he sent me a voice note. He said, "Hey, I watched I did a podcast with Real Producers Magazine, top 500 agents in Tampa Bay." And he said, "I haven't listened to many of the other ones. I was doing the videographer for that, but I listened to your show, and I'm aligned with you on a lot of the things. I talked a little bit about my beliefs in Jesus and things like that. But he said, I also contacted Lifeguard Imaging, and thank you for that, because I wouldn't even have known Lifeguard Imaging existed if you hadn't mentioned it on that podcast." And he and his wife have either gone, I think they're going in March. They said,
"Oh, nice."
They set up an image. So can you explain what that is, in case people don't really know what a heart scan is?
Sure. So most people have no idea they can do a preventative scan, because we're used to going to the doctor when we don't feel well. We want our patients to come in when they're feeling fine, because if they have any signs of heart disease or cancer, we're going to catch it early, and we're going to catch it. The first sign of or symptom of heart disease is usually a heart attack.
Right.
And the first symptom of cancer is usually late stage. So when our patients are coming in asymptomatic, we're catching and capturing these diseases prior to those symptoms. And at times, they're able to survive it with higher percentage, and also with good quality of life, avoiding the chemo and the radiation, which is huge. And we have different programs. So we have a full body scan, and anybody can come in and purchase full body scan if they're interested. But we also have a 5-year, which we call a legacy program. And that legacy program, when you do the math, it's per day is cheaper than going to Starbucks. So that puts it into perspective, where this scan, if you have something going on, will literally save your life, and it's per day cheaper than what a Starbucks coffee would be.
Yeah. Early detection saves lives. I think that's your mantra.
That's our slogan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've seen several stories, heard of several stories. I had, my bypass, I think it's about 3.5 years ago. And, it's actually through testing for COVID, and, kind of went down that road. And, I found out, and then I luckily had the bypass prior to. But, I mean, just imagine if you don't find out, then you have the heart attack, and now you're, partially brain dead. Or, I've seen where people lose feeling in one side of their face, and they're slurring their words. Or worse, you can't walk and function.
Or pass away. I mean,
exactly.
a lot of them don't survive those heart attacks. So the ones that survive are the lucky ones.
Yeah.
We also have what's virtual colonoscopy as well. Which is, I mean, I know you did yours. I just did mine last Friday, and I just found out the results today, so I'm good to go for 5 years, it's great news, great peace of mind, and it's so much easier than conventional one. It's minimal prep. You're in and out. So I had mine at 7:30 in the morning. I worked all day, so it's not like there's no anesthesia involved.
Right.
So you're not out all day.
Yeah.
And the great thing is we not only see every millimeter of the inside of the colon, but we're going to create a 3D image, and we can see the outside. So if there's anything going on the outside, we're going to catch it. And now in about 2 months, we're going to add ultrasound. For the carotid artery. So we're going to check the carotid, which that's the one that's linked with a stroke. So we're going to look at that as part of our full body program.
I love it. Yeah, we're talking with Martin Gramatica here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and we're talking about Lifeguard Imaging. Great location right here in Tampa Bay, convenient, very close to the airport. And the traditional colonoscopy too. I've heard stories where they're kind of basically snaking a camera in there, and it punctures sometimes, right? I mean, you've heard stories about that, right?
Absolutely. It's a 6-foot probe with a camera on the tip, where at times it has punctured the colon wall, and it's very dangerous because patients can go septic. With ours, there's no risk of that, because we're only inserting 2.5 inches, pumping air in the colon, and the scanner's doing all the work.
Right.
That's why, again, there's minimal prep, even though there is prep. I mean, I'm not going to say there's no prep, but it doesn't have to be completely cleaned out, because there's no camera inside.
Right.
The only thing is, now if we find a polyp, the conventional colonoscopy will have to be done to be able to biopsy it. But now they know exactly where it is, so they go in and get it. So that they're not looking for anything; they're just knowing exactly where to go to get it.
Yeah.
So it makes that a lot safer and easier.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome, man. It's a pretty cool story. You went from Super Bowl winner, kicking in the NFL, and then you got into you did the SIPS panels for a while.
I did,
and that was a pretty cool business. It was pretty neat.
It was, yeah. I wasn't passionate about it. I originally I was going to be a silent partner in a SIPS company. That didn't work out. I ended up owning and operating it. It was great business for 15 years. I met a lot of great people, but it wasn't something that I was passionate about. So when I had the opportunity to be part of Lifeguard, it was a no-brainer. And I did both for 2 years and closed the doors on the SIPS November 1st just because I had wanted to finish out the projects, because now you become friends with the people that buy your product, and we've known each other for years. So I didn't want to leave them hanging. But I knew once I found Lifeguard and became part of Lifeguard, I knew that was going to be my future, and that's what I wanted to do for basically till I retire. So I had to shut that down. But yeah, I'm so blessed to be part of Lifeguard, because I never thought I'd ever do anything medical or where I could save somebody's life or be part of saving somebody's life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at Lifeguard a little bit over 2 years, and I've had 6 friends saved by the scan with kidney cancer, lung cancer, and heart disease. They had no idea they had it. Wow. So that's why I love what I'm doing.
Yeah, man, and I feel like it's cancer. Sometimes in life you have these different trials, these tribulations, right? You hear about it, and my family's been affected recently with. I'm talking aunts, uncle, like almost everybody on my mom's side is affected with some type of a cancer or heart issue, or So I really urge you folks. I mean, reach out to the hotline. We'll put you in touch with Martin, 727-263. 3707. Just call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 727-263-3707. Call or text the hotline. Just text the word Lifeguard Imaging or heart scan, and we're going to get you a free heart scan. There's no strings attached there. It's a free scan, Martin, right? Like, they're going to come in and talk with you, and if you're in the office, you'll sign some memorabilia form.
That's whatever they want, yeah. So there's a few requirements. Obviously spouse, we want them to come together.
Okay.
So when they call in for the schedule, they'll explain to them what it is, and we scan 35 and older. So anybody under 35, it's not even our choice. It's our board-certified radiologist who does the script for the scans.
Got it.
So, but there's some minimal requirements. But just call and make the appointment, and we'll take care of it. And I'm usually in the office. I'm in and out. So yeah, if you I only sign Bucks gear.
Only Bucks gear.
Yeah, don't bring me any of the other teams.
No Philadelphia Eagles
no,
gear.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because there's only 3 of us that are true Buck fans at the office. Everybody now they've been in Tampa, they're like, look, we cheer for the Bucks when they don't play our team. So because we have Buffalo, obviously Kansas City with Frankie, Titans, Dolphins. So there's only 3 true Bucks fans in the office. So we got to stick together. Yeah,
that's right. So Martin Gramatica is offering the heart scan, 727-263-3707. You can also submit an email at consumerqb.com. The email comes directly to me. Just put heart scan in the subject line. We'll get you over to Martin and his team over at Lifeguard Imaging. So what's the prediction for the Bucks this year?
Well, we got to get some players signed. That's huge, because now you can't. It's hard to predict the season if you don't sign Baker. They're looking at obviously Mike Evans, a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you got to try to get him back. Antoine Winfield Jr. Stud safety. You got to get him signed. So they're talking. I think, or Jason Lai was just mentioning they're at the combine that they already started communication with Baker and Mike Evans and Winfield Jr. So that's a great start. To be able to at least communicate with those guys, but. To get him signed, I know the salary cap increased, I think, by like $30 million, so that should help. Yeah. And I think they're going to make some releases where it'll open up some space. But you've got to get those guys back.
Yeah, beef up that offensive line a little bit
too. Yeah.
That was. I feel like they started off slower last year, and then they overperformed towards the end of the year.
Oh, no question. I think there was one point where they were talking about firing the coach, firing everybody. I mean, they're ready to clean house and start over and rebuild, and then all of a sudden they go on a run. They beat Philadelphia, in the playoffs, and now you have a team. I think I love Baker. I mean, I've said it since day one. I don't want to be one of those guys jumping in the bandwagon. I just love the way he played at Oklahoma in college.
Yep.
And then he has that grit and that competitive edge that you don't see a lot anymore in the NFL.
Right.
And I love to see guys like that be successful. So and he says he loves it in Tampa. We love him in Tampa, so I'm hoping we get him signed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Martin Gramatica, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate
you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good seeing you again. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.